Borderline Furniture. I'm Mara, and if you have crates, I have 2 easy DIY budget-friendly ways to make crate lids. I have a hinged style and I have a fitted style. So let's get to it, see how it's done. Before I talk about lids, let me give a quick splinter safety tip about some of these box store crates. I encourage hand sanding in the tight nooks and using an electric sander to smooth the larger flat areas on the sides. For the tops, I'm upcycling an old desk drawer. And check this out. Somebody wrote Miss Skipworth on the bottom. No clue as to when or why, but we all know that this was her desk at one point. So my husband kindly helped break down the drawer. From that one big drawer, I got both top pieces. If I didn't have a drawer to upcycle, I believe the wood for the tops would have cost me about $20 to $25. I used prime trim and cut 4 pieces at 45-degree angles to frame the top. The green paint you're seeing is mostly Behr paint, mixed with color samples that I already had on hand. The decision to spray versus brush paint the crate was definitely an easy one. The lid top was painted white because I had this really great holiday image to decoupage. I bought the Santa image on Zazzle, and here's a tip. When you order decoupage paper, go for the heavier weight. The lighter stuff rips way too easy. When applying your decoupage medium, I'm using wallpaper paste here, be sure to remove any stray brush hairs. You can totally see them later. And keep in mind, this won't hide brush strokes, so if you want things super smooth, that's worth knowing. As you lay your paper down, work from the center outward to push out the air bubbles. I used a balled up piece of plastic wrap to help, though I actually prefer the plastic wallpaper tool with the felt edge. Heavier paper makes it easier to reposition if you need to. Don't skip this next step. The brace piece is essential for the screws that attach the lid. In this case, I glued it in and then clamped it tight with pressure clamps. Then I also screwed it in on both sides. The frame pieces were glued to the top of the lid and then clamped while drying. When it was time to install the lid, I lined up the hinges and pre-drilled the holes in both the lid and the crate so that the wood wouldn't split when the screws were installed. On a side note, this Craftsman electric screwdriver is kind of driving me nuts. The direction switch is right where I grabbed the tool, so it keeps popping into neutral. Maybe I need to use it a little bit more, or maybe the placement is just a design fail. Now that the lid is attached, this crate is done. I'm staining the second crate because I think this will actually look better with the decoupage paper that I picked out for the top. This stain color, which I love, is Early American. It is an oil-based stain, and so it's going to have that lingering oil-based smell for a little while. So if you're planning to use that box right away, think again. For the second lid, I custom fit it to the crate using more primed trim. I snagged this from Home Depot's wood section where dinged things are 70% off. I think this piece was about $2.50. Thanks, Home Depot, for being so eco-friendly. The frame pieces were glued and clamped overnight. I used scrap wood to support the frame and keep it level with the crate top, while the top piece was glued in place. The top was painted white, and I decoupaged this horse image just like I did with the Santa earlier in the video. This image also came from Zazzle. At first, the lid didn't fit quite right, and so I added this extra trim around the underside to create a little lip and cut slots for the handles, and this worked perfectly. The sides and the back of this lid were painted with Dixie Belle collard greens, which is such a weird name for such a rich color. This matches the horse image beautifully. While I wrap this up with some final pictures, this is the Keepsake Box Challenge video hosted by the Flippin' Bunch, which is a weekly podcast that airs every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We like to talk about flippin' home decor, and we invite you to join in the podcast. That's Flippin' Bunch, and you can find us on YouTube or Facebook. Click the playlist to check out the other contributors in this challenge. I am Borderline Furniture, and thanks for watching.